The year is 1939. Uniformed children raise pro-Nazi flags to honor their Fuhrer. Images of Adolf Hitler and the swastika flood the streets. Citizens rally, saluting Hitler and paying their respect to their homeland. Although these scenes appear straight from 1930s Berlin, they occurred not in Germany, but in New Jersey, Los Angeles, and New York City. These activities symbolize the German-American Bund's efforts to stand up for their homeland, halt anti-German sentiments in America, and organize a pro-Nazi alliance. Ironically, the Bund's efforts to strengthen German ideology in the United States actually weakened German-American relations, as the United States government, civic organizations, and even their fellow German Americans took a stand against what they saw as a threat to democratic ideals. The evolution of the German-American Bund can be traced in part to the treatment of German Americans during World War I. In the United States, a backlash of anti-German hysteria arose. German Americans were viewed as barbaric Huns. 26 states banned teaching of the German language, and those accused of being pro-German were tarred and feathered. In the 1930s, the threat of a new war brought another surge of German immigrants to the United States as the Nazi Party came to power. Adolf Hitler and Nazism offered hope that Germany could become strong once more. Hitler's goals were to annihilate Jews, ensure the purity of his master race, and expand his Aryan Empire. This Nazi ideology led to the creation of like-minded groups in the United States, such as the Silver Shirts and the Black Legion. Ultimately, however, it was the German-American Bund who gained the most attention. Founded in 1936 as an outgrowth of the Friends of New Germany, the German-American Bund consisted of 70 chapters, or GAUs, spread across the United States. It was formed to unite men and women of the Germanic race, proud of their German blood, and treasuring German traditions, language, and ideas. Soon, under the leadership of Fritz Julius Kuhn, the ranks of Kuhn's swastika nation swelled to over 25,000 members. The self-proclaimed American Fuhrer, Fritz Kuhn was a German immigrant who became a naturalized American citizen in 1934. Under Kuhn's control, the Bund used powerful propaganda to take a stand for their anti-Semitic, anti-communist, pro-German cause. In pamphlets, newspapers, and cartoons, the Bund bombarded Americans with the alleged problem of the Jews and the glory of the Aryan race. Bund propaganda depicted Jews as materialistic, dishonest, and immoral. Bund leaders used similar propaganda to train the next generation of Bundists at camps across America. Modeled after Hitler Youth, the goal was to instill Nazi sympathies in German-American children. Campers engaged in rifle practice and carried out military drills, all to prepare for Der Tag, the critical day in the unknown future when Aryans would battle violent Jews on American soil. The German-American Bund also took a stand for their beliefs through rallies and parades. One of the most memorable rallies was held at New York's Madison Square Garden on February 20th, 1939. Attended by over 20,000 Bundists, the event was billed as a Free America rally and a celebration of the birthday of George Washington, whom they saw as America's first fascist. At the rally, Kuhn spoke of his dreams of a swastika nation.
We, the German-American Bund, organized as American citizens with American ideals and determined to protect ourselves, our homes, our wives and children, against the slimy conspirators and the parasite hand of Jewish communism in our schools, our universities, our very homes.
The crowd cheered and extended their right arms to salute their Fuhrer, shouting, "Free America." Despite the Bund's efforts to promote pro-German sentiments across America, the Bund gained far more enemies than members. With news reports of the rise of Nazism in Germany, the Bund quickly became the public face of fascism. America took a stand to fight the spread of Bund ideology. Events such as the Madison Square Garden rally, with its hateful, anti-Semitic rhetoric, attracted swarms of protesters. The youth camps also came under attack. In Southbury, Connecticut, for example, residents derailed the establishment of a Bund camp there. They called the Bund an insidious menace that was anti-Christian and anti-American. To counter Bund rhetoric, organizations like the American Legion produced counter-propaganda. They picketed Bund meetings and even fought them in bloody fistfights on the streets. In theaters, audiences swarmed to see Inside Nazi Germany, which warned of Bund activities.
Across the United States, Fuhrer Kuhn has established 25 summer camps and drill grounds, where those German Americans who believe in Nazi teachings can imitate Hitler's mighty military machine.
As word of the Bund spread, their fellow German Americans spoke out. In 1938, the Wisconsin Federation of German American Societies wanted nothing whatsoever to do with the propaganda of racial hatred and religious intolerance fostered by the Volksbund. The United States government also took a stand. In 1938, the House Un-American Activities Committee was created, initially to investigate alleged subversive activities by domestic Nazi and fascist groups. Its first target was the Bund, aiding the committee with the FBI, who infiltrated Bund meetings and exposed their activities to the American public. Based on their exhaustive investigations, HUAC labeled the Bund a ruthlessly efficient military setup, like Hitler's machine in Germany. While most Americans applauded anti-Bund efforts, some supported the group on constitutional grounds. After all, the Bund was entitled to First Amendment rights of speech, press, and assembly. The American Civil Liberties Union, for example, did not agree with the Bund's pro-Nazi views, but understood that protecting civil rights was critical. Meanwhile, in New York City, District Attorney Thomas Dewey discovered that Kuhn had embezzled money from the Bund's account and set out to arrest him. On May 25, 1939, Kuhn pulled into a Berks County gas station. Irene Schlenker-Grimm recalls the day.
While my dad was servicing the car, he heard that they were talking in German, and they seemed in a rush to get to Chicago, which was very suspicious.
And there at that service station, Dewey's detectives arrested Kuhn. He was jailed in New York, and after much litigation, denaturalized and sent to spend his last years in Germany. After the United States entered war with Germany in December 1941, federal agents mounted increased pressure on the Bund, forcing denaturalization proceedings and imprisonment under the Alien Registration Act. This act set criminal penalties for advocating the overthrow of the United States and required all non-citizen adult residents to register with the government. The Bund officially disbanded in December 1941 in what historian Arnie Bernstein called one last secret meeting of faceless, beaten bureaucrats. It was clear, Bernstein said, that Fritz Kuhn's vision of a swastika nation was over. The German-American Bund's story is complex. While the Bund stood to ease anti-German sentiments and promote Nazism, their efforts created a backlash. The Bund became the face of Hitler in America and represented the opposite of America's ideals. Americans took a stand to stop the Bund. Ultimately, their efforts resulted in the Bund's demise, but not without denying the group some of the First Amendment freedoms on which our country was founded. Today, as subversive groups remain active in the United States, the struggle to balance our beliefs in democratic values with First Amendment freedoms continues.